Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today, as you can see, I have Letitia's two cars out, which is her red Evo 10 MR and her white Lancer Ralliart Sportback. Now, as you may know, the Ralliart Sportback is for sale. It's actually pretty much sold. We've taken a deposit on the car and we're just in the middle of selling it at the moment. So have standard number plates back on it and remove the gauges and a few other parts. So just before we sell it, I realised I've never done a video where I sort of drive the cars back to back and sort of talk about the differences. Now I have done a video previously on the differences between a Lancer Ralliart and a Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution, so I'll put a link to that in the description. This is more going to be what it's like driving them back to back. So I'm going to sort of do my best. We've got this big open area here. I'm going to try and show what it's like, the different turning circles with the car, because it's something that really is a big noticeable difference. Now, if you're looking to just have a car that is just a great daily driver, that has all-wheel drive, turbo, and you know you're going to be doing regular grocery shopping and stuff like that in it, going into car parks, into tight spots, turning around a lot, then the Ralliart is probably better suited. But where the Evo falls down in that area with the turning circle is actually where it really comes into its own when you're driving the car hard. So if you're driving on a mountain road or anywhere with some tight corners, as soon as cornering with speed is involved, the Evo is clearly the better car in that aspect. But yeah, as you'll see, low speed turning, the Evo really can be not great for that. Sort of when you're coming up to do a U-turn at an intersection, sometimes you really have to calculate, will my car be able to make this turn? Whereas in the Ralliart, easy every time, you can always get the car turned around. Now I'll quickly go over some of the differences. I know I've already made that video, but basically the main differences you're going to be feeling in the car are the bigger turbo in the Evo, but obviously these cars both have bigger turbos than the factory ones, so we can't really notice that. But we're going to notice straight away will be the brakes. So I don't mind the filthy wheels, but the brakes on the Ralliart compared to the brakes on the Evo, so you're going to have Brembos all round. With on the MR, you're going to have two-piece rotors with the Brembo calipers, and then you're going to have smaller everything when it comes to the Ralliart and the brake wise. And it's going to be the same story for the rear. See those Brembos back there with slightly larger rotors, and this is the Ralliart. And then another main difference you're going to feel driving the car straight away is going to be the seats. Now, as you can see, have the Recaros in the Evo. Once you're in this car, you really feel like you're being held in place, and they're also very comfortable. Whereas when it comes to the Ralliart, you're just going to have some still comfortable seats, a little bit of bolstering, but nothing that's going to really lock you in place like in the Evo. And the other main difference with the transmission is going to be, they're both going to be SST if you're getting the Evo 10 MR, but with the Ralliart you'll just have the normal and sport mode. I did make a video showing how those modes drive. I'll put a link to that as well in the description. But this car is obviously being modified. We've had the S Sport mode flashed onto it, so both have all three modes. So when I'm driving the cars, I will just drive in S Sport mode. But yeah, with that said, let's go for a drive and let's see if I can sort of show you the differences in steering and how the cars feel. But we'll start off by doing a little turning circle test up here, like I said. Alright guys, so as you can see, I have the car set up here. I put a little bit of tape, red tape there next to the wheel. So what I'm going to do is just go for a U-turn in this space here. Actually have my phone set up over there so I can film the front shot of how it's going to turn. I did actually forget to put an SD card in my other GoPro, so hopefully the phone works. But yeah, so I'm going to do it in the Evo first, see where the point is where we can get the car straight again, and then do the same in the Ralliart over there. So yeah, let's get to that now. Alright guys, so let's test out this turning circle on the Evo. So like I said, I have that bit of tape there. So it's going to see what we can do. So I will just roll forward a little bit and then turn the wheel. So that's where we got to, so I'll jump out. Put a bit of tape down where the wheel on the driver's side ended up before we got straight. Alright guys, so I've got the Ralliart pretty much the same spot. Best could get it lined up, so a little bit extra gap there between it and the red sticker. So now, same test. See if we can get this turned around a lot sooner. And once we get straight, right there. Jump out. So that's where this car is. The red sticker for the other car was here, so this was a full car length difference for just the U-turn. So if you think about if you're in trying to do a U-turn at a roundabout or at an intersection, it's basically a full extra lane difference between the two cars. So with that test done, now what we'll do is I'll jump in and let's go for a quick drive around the block in the Ralliart first, and then we'll do the same thing in the Evo. Alright guys, so heading out for a drive in the Ralliart first. Full disclosure, it's actually the next day. I already filmed this clip and then realised I had an audio issue where it was just unusable. So yeah, just come back to just do the driving section again. So what I'm going to do is just go around this roundabout a couple of times just to kind of show the difference in the steering. So here we've got this tight little section. So as you can see, I'm having to do a couple of turns of the wheel just to get around that. And then here, to go around this part, I'm just going to try and cross my arms over and just stay on the steering wheel. As you can see, I'm going quite wide. Basically get my arms fully crossed around before I can get around there. And again, around this section. So if you're sort of, once you're going, the good turning circle of the Ralliart kind of is its downfall. So as you can see there, it's sort of having to really steer to get around corners. So yeah, we'll do that same thing in the Evo once we get into it. And then just once you're sort of at speed driving the Ralliart, so just taking a little corner like this, your steering just isn't as direct. Like you really have to turn the wheel to get around a corner. So I'll head down this roundabout, and again, as you can see, really having to turn that wheel, which isn't a big deal if you're just driving around, but just using that to illustrate just how different the steering is in these cars. So it's, yeah, a lot of movement from this wheel before you actually do anything. So yeah, it's, as you can see, having to go quite wide there. The other big difference obviously that you'll feel is going to be the brakes. Now just general driving, the Ralliart brakes stop fine. Like they're pretty good brakes, to be honest. This has upgraded pads and rotors, as you saw. But if you're driving, say, on a track day or on a mountain road, country road, somewhere with a lot of corners, you are actually going to really start to feel these brakes fade in the Ralliart. As we did a group cruise, and we took this car as my Evo was not running at the time and didn't actually own the other Evo. So we were leading the group, went up a mountain road, actually did make a video on that one. And yeah, this car was the lead car and I was driving, and after a lot of mountain driving, coming down a hill, I actually really felt the brakes starting to sort of struggle. They were really fading, and I've never felt that in that same exact road that I've taken many times in my Evo. The Evo Brembos just keep on going. So those are going to be the kind of main things you're going to notice. Like I said at the start, if you're just wanting the car to just a cruiser, like this is fine, just driving like this. Steering's still good, still all-wheel drive. But once you compare them, you will find that the Evo is the better car for just actual driving, when you're wanting to drive the car hard. So with that little course done, let's do the same thing in the Evo now, starting off at this roundabout where we just started off with this car. Okay, so in the Evo now, and sorry about that squeaking sound that you can probably hear quite clearly, because I definitely can. Got something going on with the coil over in the rear, which we're getting fixed. But so let's start off straight away. You can just feel the difference in steering in this car. It's just so much tighter. Now to get around this corner, and right, let's do the same thing. We'll keep our hands on the wheel. We'll just cross our arms. Look how close I can get to that, staying in the middle of the roundabout. And then here, we did a couple of turns of the wheel to get around this. So that was just one. And then again, we'll try and go around this with a bit of speed. So you can straight away tell the difference with the steering just off that little test. And then coming around this little corner here, just barely have to turn the wheel. It's just a lot more confidence inspiring, the steering of the Evo. So we'll go down the same street. As you can see, I can keep nice and tight that roundabout without taking my hands off the wheel. So I find driving the Evo, you can basically leave your hands in this position where I have them now a lot of the time when you're driving, like in corners, because it's just so little steering needed compared. So coming around here again, just cross my arms over and make it around there. So yeah, there's the main difference I feel when I drive these cars. And then the brakes, obviously, they stop, as people would say, on a dime. These brakes in this are amazing, and obviously it has upgraded pads and rotors. But yeah, these, obviously you'd get fade on them eventually if you're actually doing proper track days, but the little track sessions I've done, which are just no helmet, no actual timed laps, just doing some laps, having some fun, those types of days, my brakes seem to hold pretty well. By the end of about a half an hour session, I have felt a little bit of brake fade, but that was when I was like sort of pushing it on one particular one where we had less cars on the track, and I had quite a few laps to myself. But on mountain driving and just general driving, these brakes are just perfect. So this car is definitely feels heavier than the Ralliart. Not just the steering, but you can feel the car itself. This weighs a lot more than the Ralliart. It has the more advanced all-wheel drive system. It has the active yaw control and the super all-wheel control, or whatever those extra features that are called in the Evo that the Ralliart doesn't have. This car also has like the heated leather seats and the big wing and everything. And yeah, it's got a little bit extra weight over Ralliart. Then this car in particular has a lot of, we've actually pulled these door cards off before, and there's a whole bunch of Dynamat sound deadening in there, as well as the boot. There's some amps under these seats and a sub in the boot, so you do feel the extra weight. But even then, comparing these two cars, Letitia driving them on a mountain drive we went on, she was a bit unsure about this car when we first bought it, and we went for one mountain drive in this, and she just said, wow, this is just so much better to drive in tight roads than the Ralliart is. So yeah, just for even her, which she doesn't really push the car a lot, it was noticeable, and obviously I can feel a major difference. So yeah, we'll head back now, park the cars up. Okay, so that's going to be the end of the video there. So it's definitely something that would be helpful if you're looking at buying one of these cars, or if you already own a Ralliart and would like to sell it and get into an Evo, then this should be very helpful to you. So yeah, really hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did and you found it helpful, make sure you put a like on the video below, as it would really help this video get shared around the YouTube platform. And if you enjoyed this and want to see more similar videos to this on the Evo 10 and Ralliart platform, then yeah, definitely consider subscribing to my channel. I would really appreciate that. It would help me grow. So I do want to keep growing this channel, and if you have any suggestions on videos you'd like to see, then definitely put a comment down below. And if you have upgraded or changed from a Ralliart to an Evo, definitely let me know in a comment what you think the main differences are, if you agreed with me in this video. But yeah, with that said, that's going to be the end there. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.